writers. So today we're going to spend some time talking about writing a best first draft. Now, you've had some time where you've collected ideas and you've made a plan for your story. And for me, that stuff is hard brain work. Like, you really have to think in order to create something out of nothing. But after you have that, then it's time to write the story. This is called a draft. And as writers, we want to write our best first draft. Now for me, this is the step that is the most difficult in the writing process. I wish that I could wave a magic wand and just have a best first draft. But the truth of the matter is it doesn't work that way. I love notebook work. I like dreaming up characters, kind of creating different scenes. And if I'm not careful, I can really get hung up in my notebook. But at some point, we have to move forward and write a draft. Because I have learned how to force myself to do this, I have a few tips that I'd like to share with you. All right, so the first thing that I've learned to do is I just have to put my body in a chair and stay there. And this is like the beginning step. So when I'm ready to draft, I can find a zillion things that I need to do. But if I'm actually going to write my best first draft, then I need to settle in. So think about where you can settle in. Where in the classroom would be a good writing spot for you? How are you going to be able to ignore everything else that's going on in order to get some words on the page? My writing spot at home at the end of my couch, wrapped up in the quilt my mom made me with my computer balanced on my knees. If I need to be more serious, I move to my dining room table. And at school, I have a writing spot too. Again, you can see my computer there because most of the time when I'm writing first draft writing, I'm doing that on the computer. So the next step after I've settled in is to just write. I just need to write one word, then another word, and another word. I have found for myself that I'm highly motivated by word count. And so I set a goal, like I'm going to write 1,000 words a day. And then I keep writing until I've met that goal. Sometimes at other points in my life, I'm motivated by time. And so I've decided like I'm going to write 15 minutes a day. More recently, I've used both of these together. So I have a timer in my house that looks like this. I set it and I see how many words I can write, usually in 15 or 20 minutes. And then I stop, I take a break, and then I set it again and go for another 15 or 20 minutes, trying to get both a word count and a time working for me. So I'm motivated by these things. The secret of writing a best first draft is figuring out what motivates you. And so today we're going to try it. We're going to set the timer and we're going to take some word counts. It is inevitable that as a writer at some point you're going to have to fight these monsters in your head, and this is what I imagine they look like. You're going to have to learn to ignore the monsters in your mind. For me, the monsters in my mind say things like this. This is the dumbest thing you've ever written. Who do you think you are to want to write? Why would anyone want to write something that you've written? I've had to learn to shut those things off. I've drawn X's over the things that I hear them say. Because if I listen to these monsters in my mind, then I am never, ever going to get a best first draft written. So these first three are kind of the details of just setting an environment up so that I can write, so that I can draft. But when I sit down to draft, I want to craft my draft. That means that I really want to build or mold a story for other people to read. I'd like to show you how I did this with the fable that I'm working on. Here's the plan for the story that I'm working on about a cat who gets what he wants when he wants, and a turtle who both love to yo-yo. Now my first scene is about Cat finding a coupon, and he gets all excited about these new yo-yo strings. Now check it out when I actually begin to write my best first draft. So I need to set this up to sound like a fable. So I began it in much the same way that the fable started that we've read. The cat and the turtle loved their yo-yos. And I want to set it up here so that we understand the struggle. That the cat, he always does what he wants when he wants. And he also wants to be this great yo-yo master. Now, as a writer who's going to craft my draft, I'm not just going to say Cat has a coupon, but I'm really going to show how Cat got this coupon. And so you can see here, I write, one day, as Cat was on his way to Turtle's abode, the wheels of his longboard rolled over a glossy rectangle. Cat stopped his board, swung his yo-yo around the world, and snapped it into his paw, then picked up the glossy paper. Cat couldn't believe his feline eyes. Now, I'm not done crafting this scene. Each scene will be about a half a page to a page long. But what I'd like you to do is to take another look at this part of my draft and talk about how am I crafting this instead of just telling the story, and how do you think I might go on with this part of my draft? Today, do your best to craft your draft. We'll be setting a timer and taking a word count, and at the end, you'll share how drafting went for you. Happy writing, everyone.